Google Search, Google Alerts, Google Group Results, Google Arts and Culture, Google Assistant, Google Bookmarks, Google Books, Google Dataset Search, Google Finance, Google Flights, Google Images, Google News, Google Patients, Google Scholar, Google Shopping, and YouTube. All search tools produced by Google. Google is one of the world's leading superpowers in terms of the internet. With over 100 different products and services online and in store, they control what we see on the internet. They control how we use and how we don't use different things. Find out in this episode what Google websites you are missing out on and what Google products you need in your home. Google has over 100 products and services that are available to you. Some of them are free, like Google, Google Calendar, Google Docs and Sheets, and many others. Some, however, you have to pay for, like Google Voice, the website, Google Home installations that you can buy online and in store, and various other things. Google is split up into 4 main categories: search tools, communication and publishing tools, map-related products and statistical tools, and business/ad orientated products. These different categories include over 100 different websites, and that doesn't even include products and services. Google Search is the one we all know. If you type in www.google.com.au or whatever country you are in, you will find yourself at the Google Search homepage. But there are many others you might have not heard of. Google Dataset Search allows searching for datasets and data repositories in local national government websites. Google Assistant is a virtual assistant created to help you in your daily life. With communication and publishing tools, you have Google Currents, a digital bulletin board. You have Google Drawings, a diagramming software. You even have Google Voice, a VoIP system that provides a phone number which can be forwarded to actual phone lines. There are countless other Google products and services that you can use. Some include outer space technology, like Google Sky, where you can view planets, stars, and galaxies. Some, like Google Maps, are ones and services we use every day. Others, like Google Santa Tracker, you might be new to. Today, we are going to be looking at the top 10 Google websites that you do not know about. And this time, we're going to have a very in-depth conversation about each of them to see which one could benefit you. First up, we have Google Domains. Google Domains is an internet domain name registration service offered by Google. Countries you can get Google Domains include Australia, Brazil, Canada, France, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Netherlands, South Africa, Spain, Thailand, United Kingdom, United States, and Vietnam. Google Domains offers a domain registration, including a private domain registration, DNS hosting, dynamic DNS forwarding, and email forwarding. Google Domains is used by countless websites and countless businesses to distribute their website across the globe. Google Domains was publicly launched under a beta test mode in January 13th, 2015, and still remains in a beta as of November 2020. Google Santa Tracker is an annual Christmas-themed entertainment program first launched in the eve of 2004 by Google Incorporates. This simulates the tracking of the legendary character Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. And before that, it also allows users to play, watch, and learn through little activities that are added daily in December. It was inspired by NORAD Track Santa, which was operated since 1955. In early 2004, Google saw the NORAD Track Santa service, and they said, "I felt like that could be better for users to visualize where Santa is currently at." So, in 2004, after Keyhole Inc. was acquired by Google, they followed the Santa in the Keyhole Earth viewer, Google Earth's original name. They called it the Keyhole Santa Radar. The audience was small due to Keyhole being a paid product. From 2004 throughout 2013, the site did not have many improvements every year, and it also did not have the games that it has now. Starting in 2013, Google Santa Tracker totally reimagined their website. In the 2013 season, they added games called Houses that unlock throughout the village every day of December, and going further, they also made the main tracker less cluttered. In 2020, during the COVID pandemic, Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves are depicted as wearing face masks, one of the most noticeable differences in the website. Google Trends is a website by Google that analyzes the popularity of top search queries in the Google search across various regions and languages. The website uses graphs to compare the search volume of different queries over time. On August 5th, 2008, Google launched Google Insights for Search, a more sophisticated and advanced service displaying search trends data. On September 27, 2012, Google merged Google Insights for Search into Google Trends. Google Trends is available in English, Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, French, and more. Google Trends also allows the user to compare the relative search volume of searches between one or more items. In April 2013, Tobel Prius and his colleagues introduced a method to identify online precursors for stock market moves, including using trading strategies based on the search volume data provided by Google Trends. Since 2008, they have been a subsection of Google Trends which analyzes traffic for websites. Rather than traffic for search term, this is a similar service that provided by the Alexa Internet. The Google Trends for websites became unavailable after the September 27, 2012 release of the new Google Trends product. Google Fonts is a web font hosting service. If you want any new fonts on your computer, just visit Google Fonts. Google Fonts is a library of over 1,000 free licensed font families, an interactive web directory for browsing the library, and APIs for conveniently using the fonts via the CSS and Android. The library is maintained through Google Fonts GitHub repository, where all font files can be obtained directly. On May 9, 2019, Google announced that they would support the font display CSS parameter. On March 3, 2020, Google updated the catalog website with the support for variable fonts and a blue color scheme with improved accessibility. By August 2020, Google had over 50 variable font families. We are going to take a short break now. But after we come back, we'll see the 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd most interesting and Google websites you didn't know about. Stick around. Welcome back. Google Sky is 6th on the list. Google Sky is a feature that was introduced in Google Earth 4.2 on August 22nd, 2007. Its co-partners Google Mars and Google Moon. Google Mars is an application within Google Earth that is a version of the program for imagery on the planet Mars. And with Google Moon, originally it was a browser application, but Google Moon is now a feature that allows exploration of the moon. Google brought the feature to Google Earth for the 40th anniversary of the Apollo 11th mission on July 20th, 2009. Google Earth has numerous features which allows the user to learn about specific places. These are called layers, and Google Sky is one of those layers. Google Surveys, formerly known as Google Consumer Surveys, is a business product by Google that facilitates customized market research. The product was designed by Google as an alternative to internet paywalls for websites that publish content. The program was launched by several online publishers such as Pandora, Adweek, and the New York Daily News. Google Surveys provides both a web interface with which to design the survey, as well as the audience that takes the survey. The survey questions are subject to some requirements in length and content. The survey creators are the source of money in the model. Every time a user responds to the survey, the publishers earn $0.05. The product was launched on March 29, 2012. And on February 19, 2015, Google announced Consumer Surveys as a platform for publishers to monetize their online content. Initially, this platform will be available only for publishers from the USA, UK, and Canada. On October 19, 2016, Google announced that it had renamed the product from Google Consumer Surveys to Google Surveys and was moving it to the part of the Google Analytics product suite.
Google account is next. A Google account is a user account that is required for access, authentication, and authorization to certain online Google services. It is also often used as a single sign-on for third-party services. Google account is required for Gmail, Google Hangouts, Google Meet, and Blogger. Some Google products do not require an account, including Google Search, YouTube, Google Books, Google Finance, and Google Maps. However, an account is needed for uploading videos to YouTube and making edits in Google Maps. After a Google account is created, the owner may selectively enable or disable various Google applications. While creating a Google account, users are asked to provide a recovery email address to allow them to reset their password if they have forgotten it, or if their account is hacked. Google Voice is a telephone service that provides call forwarding and voicemail services, voice and text messaging, as well as US and international call termination for Google account customers in France, Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, and the UK. This service was launched by Google on March 11, 2009, after the company had acquired the service Grand Central. Google Voice provides a US telephone number chosen by the user from available numbers in the selected area codes, free of charge to each user account. Calls to this number are forwarded to the telephone numbers that each user must configure in the account web portal. Multiple destinations may be specified that ring simultaneously for incoming calls. Service establishment requires a United States telephone number. A user may answer and receive calls on any of the ringing phones as configured in the web portal. During a received call, the user may switch between the configured telephones. Gmail is an email service developed by Google. Users can access Gmail on the web and using third-party programs that synchronize email content through POP or IMAP protocols. Gmail started as a limited beta release on April 1st of 2004 and ended its testing phase on July 7th by 2009. By October 2019, Gmail had 1.5 billion active users worldwide. At launch, Gmail had an initial storage capacity of 1 GB per user, a significantly higher amount than competitors offered at the time. Today, the service comes with 15 GB of storage. Users can receive up to emails 50 megabytes in size, including attachments, while they can send email up to 25 megabytes in order to send large files. Gmail has a search-oriented interface and a conversation view. Before we continue to our first website, I would like to give some honorable mentions to Google. First up is Google Search, something we use every day. Google Data Set Search, which allows searching for data sets in data repositories and local and national government websites, is very helpful when it comes to owning a business. YouTube is a video hosting website that everyone on this planet uses mostly every day. Google Docs is a document editing software, the Google equivalent to Microsoft Word. Google Sheets, Slides, Drawing, Forms, Sites, and Keep are all equivalents to their selected and assorted Microsoft. Google Drive is a file hosting service with a synchronization option tightly integrated with the Google Docs editors. Google Translate, Meet, Groups, and Voice are all handy. Google Sky, which includes Google Moon, Google Mars, Google Maps, and Google Santa Tracker, are all useful in terms of navigation. Google Analytics, Surveys, Ngram Viewer, and Trends are all good when it comes to statistical tools. I might also mention Google Workspace. It is a suite of a website application for business, education providers, and non-profits that include customizable versions of several Google products accessible through a custom domain name. Services include, but are not limited to, Gmail, Google Contacts, Google Calendar, Google Docs, Editors, Google Sites, Google Meet, Google Chat, and Google Cloud Search. Now on to our first Google website. Google Sites is a website that allows you to create your own website using your own domain name. This works handy if you are owning a business and want to create a simple and easy, affordable, and free, again, like I said before, website. This will work hand in hand with Google Domains, also Google Analytics, Surveys, and Firebase, as long as with Google Trends.
Thank you for listening to this episode where we explore Google. Stick around to see our new 2021 series.